Purchase your tracks today.
Know the people been waiting for a minute for something authentic. Came in the truth and bossed in it, made niggas regroup. Had to shed light on the false image. UPK whole court. Now who the fuck won scrimmage? 2 words for soft niggas. What is good riddance? Don't affiliate with feminine symptoms. I know you feel me, nigga. This a death threat to hip hop. You don't stop that weak shit, I'ma mix your lean with some Grimlock. When the last time you heard it this raw? What I wish for's when the earth inherited by the piss poor. We been to war, them the ones I'm taking risks for. Ain't got no pics or no cars to hold. Holy angels watch my steps, them Glock guard my soul. Can't let them leave my body cold. I know you feel me, nigga, let the wicked weep and the meek prevail. God never been 50-50, I shall now awake and sleep a cell. Let the righteous cry, silence the pretender. A rebel without a cause, as long as I remember. Not taking the kingdom, the only thing on my agenda. Can't avoid me, nigga. Middle finger to the ones that try to destroy me. Revenge of beauty, I'm a beast. I told the bitch she can't eat, let she join me for dinner. My God ain't got no regard for a sinner. One call fall on him like timber. I know you feel me, nigga. In the eyes of terror, I stand still. Go to work for the colony, bring it back to the anthill. Plus everything I drop heavy as an anvil. Show you how to stand like a man in this damn field. I know you feel me, nigga. Fuck equality, it gotta be one man win and the rest lose. Wave devastator, I'm calculating my next move. UPK with real niggas seek refuge. Body shots for bars, that'll get you bruised. My niggas whole ranker, check your little attitude. I came to fuck up your mood on your little holiday like I'm Mr. Scrooge. Resurrected from the grave, walking from the fall. Visions in my eyes, gripping the mic, screaming God bless the underdog. Down by the letter, and live by that protocol. Walk by faith, not by sight. Ain't no hope for getting struggles. Life like tug of war, resist or get pulled into a world that never left you. I will endure. Election will be sure, correction will be swift. No Will Smith, but I am legend. What else would you call the killer of deception? A leader got soldiers on post in every direction. On go like a German shepherd, young and a restless. Wear honor like a diamond necklace. I know you feel me, nigga.
Purchase your tracks today.
If Rome ain't know that, what is it?
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my taxes. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just Isupk sat in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we bustin' it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Oh yeah, ooh Lord. And if you don't give it, you won't get it. That's right. I give her all my love. Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
I came from the streets to the shy, where wicked and evil collide. If it was illegal, we tried ambition to get us a piece of the pie. Had so many demons inside, was dimming the gleam of my eye, killing my innocence. All of my vision, I'm reading the sign and seeing demise. We've been deprived the basic necessities, that and cocaine, a satanic recipe. Refusing to claim it as destiny, sins of the fatherly children in jeopardy. The family addiction affected me, affliction of prison, the death of me. Not even the thought of my legacy, living in hell, how you hating your pedigree. Been definitely holding the grudge, letting it go cause no hoe is in us. If we don't connect then you know what it was. One West and no cowards is rolling with us. Steps was all in the mud, feeling the pain like salt in the cut. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love, yeah. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love. I get an honor to command and Jenna Johanna for being the armor, protecting the message delivered the Abba. Straight from the Father, He gave it to you, ain't making excuse. Though Satan is loose, kept lacing his boots, training and raising the troops. Perfecting the method of 7-1 West in the hands was able to prove. Ain't stressing them niggas that 11 can step in the stand and stating the truth. My people could never imagine the hardest of winners you lasted. Extending the realest compassion for niggas that should have been fitted for caskets. How could you ever ignore the nigga who slept on the floor and was ready for war? Whenever it called, better this weapon is drawn. Election is sure, edging this war, front of projects of the Bronx. Now representing the Lord, the water for blessing us all.
All right, let's clap it up. Shalom, shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Salaki started out at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York. I am Officer of 50, Baniyah. And tonight, I will be teaching you all, just breaking down, brotherhood and basically explaining to you all why brotherhood is really a weapon at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because if you look in this world and you look in this kingdom nowadays, us as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we really don't have that which is called brotherhood. And what I mean by that is we look at that next brother and we look at the differences in them, which is imaginary differences. But we look at that brother who has maybe subtle differences and we try to make it seem like we are like totally different people when we are the same people at the end of the day. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go through the same hell in this kingdom all together. We own the ghettos. We own the barrios. We own the reservations, all right? We didn't push back to that. They didn't push our Native American brothers to the reservations. You know what I mean? Big shout outs to also Kariyash, you know what I mean? Bangad, the reservation trip. You know what I mean? The reservation trip. We went out there and we helped our Native American brothers get, supplies as far as clothing, food. You know what I mean? We just showed that brotherhood to them. But tonight's class is really going to be dedicated on why you should really be looking at that other brother, whether it be a Hispanic, a fellow Black man, or a Native American man or woman. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and show you in today's scripture. This is the book of Luke, chapter 6 and verse 35. But love ye your enemies. So when you look at that verse and you look at that, to somebody who aren't trained, who don't really understand, what that means to love your enemy, that's not telling you to love your oppressor. That's different. You know what I mean? Love your enemies is basically saying love that brother who did wrong to you. Love that, love that brother that did wrong to you. Love that brother who may have not been able to be in the same mindset as you, but forgive him before you will forgive your oppressor. Because your oppressor don't give no iota of a care. They don't care. They don't care if you sick. They don't care if you got it or if you don't got it. They'll still take it from you, which is why if you borrow a loan from the bank, guess what? They're going to get their money back. Even if they don't get it all at the same time, they're going to get their money back. You know what I mean? But what this verse is basically saying, love your enemies, which is meaning your brothers. The same people that go through the same hell that you go through every day in those ghettos, barrios, and Native American reservations, okay? Let me go ahead and continue. And do good and lend, hoping for nothing again. A lot of us as Black people, and I could say for myself too, we got a lot of family members, we could get real personal about this. Let's go ahead and get it. You know what I mean? We got a lot of family members. We got a lot of people in our families who would rather, if we borrow some or we ask for help, they feel like that they got some type of absorption, above us. Except for, just doing it out of sake of brotherhood. You know what I mean? If my brother is literally on his last leg and I give him some money, the last thing I'm expecting is for him to give me that money back. I don't give a care if he got a dime, a dollar, $1 million. I love that brother so much that I'm going to make sure that he's straight. You know what I mean? I ain't finna sit there and try to hustle him like our oppressor do in today's society, because that's where we really get it from. That's where we get that mentality from our oppressors. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people, even me, I'm a little bit of a younger cat myself. You know what I mean? There was a such thing called loan sharks back in the day. You know what I mean? You would get these money from these crooked people and you'll be, if you don't pay them back, they'll literally come and break your legs to the point that you can't even walk no more. You know what I mean? But the thing is, if you really love your people, if you love your family members, you would give them and you would help them out, and you shouldn't be expecting nothing in return. And that's the thing that's wrong with us as Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. You know what I mean? We got the wrong mentality about that. We look at our oppressor, and our oppressors say, if you ain't got our money, I'm going to call you every day. I'm going to blow your phone up. I'm going to just, make sure that your life is a living hell because of the fact that you didn't pay me back what you borrowed. You know what I mean? And that's not what we should be doing as Black, Hispanic, and Native American men and women. You know what I mean? We should be looking after each other just for the sake of love, you know what I mean? Out of the sake of brotherhood. We shouldn't just be like, okay, you know what? I see that this brother, he ain't got it, but you know what? I expect something back from him. That's the wrong mentality to have. And if you somebody that's have that mentality, of if you loan something out, if you give something away, you expect it back in return, you shouldn't be loaning nothing out. Because guess what? When you really need that back, or if let's just say that brother can't get it back to you, now what you gonna do? You gonna beat his ass? What you gonna do? Choke him out? That don't make no sense to me. The brother ain't got it. Some people can't just bounce back that quick. Some people can't borrow some and then just be a millionaire overnight, like how everybody, expects for this to be. You know what I mean? But let me go ahead and get back to the scripture. And your reward shall be great. Let me go ahead and repeat that. And your reward shall be great. Meaning that if you just help this brother out just out of the sake of love, because you love your people so much, you being a black man and you knowing that all the hell that you have to go through, all the trials and tribulations that you have to go through just being in this kingdom. If you can't just help out your people just by that alone, you know what I mean? You ain't gonna get no reward. But if you do help out your people just by trying to see people progress and get further in life, well, guess what? The Bible says in Luke chapter 6 and 35 that your reward shall be great. And this is the Most High talking. This ain't me. This ain't, whoever talking. This is the Most High talking. And the Most High can literally gift you whatever you think that you can't even think about it. But the Most High can get that to you. You feel me? So we shouldn't be sitting right here trying to do things just out of spite and out of selfishness, because that's not how the Most High, taught us how to do things as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Let me go ahead and get back to the scripture. And ye shall be the children of the highest. I mean, come on now. The highest, the Most High, the highest. I mean, last time I was on here, we read about, the Most High saying that he'll cut off, his children if you don't follow his laws, statutes, and commandments. So the Most High is saying that if you just do things out of the spirit of brotherhood, out of the spirit of, this can go for sisterhood too. This ain't just for, brothers and everything, out of sisterhood too. You know what I mean? Because we got to learn to do for ourselves. You know what I mean? We got to love ourselves. Love that brother like how you love yourself. You know what I mean? Love that sister like how you would if somebody, if you had no money, if you had not a place to stay, if you ain't had a car to get back and forth from work. There's brothers in this truth who would literally drive 30 miles to a different city in a different state just to make sure that a brother can go 5 miles up the street. That's brotherhood. And that's what we teach in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. You know what I mean? We teach that brotherhood, sisterhood is the most ultimate thing that you can ever have in your life. Because without this, we'd have had brothers literally go through all types of, trials and tribulations in their own personal life. But because of the fact that they had a brother that they can refer to and they can talk to, that they can have a brother come pick them up, and that they can stay at their house for a minute. That's what keeps us going. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and get back to the scripture. And ye shall be the children of the highest, for he is kind unto the unthankful and to the evil. So basically, you know what I mean? If you're willing to show yourself to be working in the spirit of brotherhood, he gonna be kind to you even when you've been an evil fucking bastard. Let's be honest with you. You don't care about your brothers. You've been selfish. You rather just, it's just about me and it's about me alone. Well, guess what? The Most High is literally saying that if you kind to your brothers, if you just show that spirit of brotherhood, guess what? He'll be even nice to the most wicked bastard. You wicked bastard. You don't care about your brothers. But guess what? You cared about your brothers enough where the Most High cares about you now. And that's deep. I think everybody should want to at least get the Most High's, admiration. You know what I mean? Salaki. All right. So anyway, back to what I was saying and everything about us being, working in the spirit of brotherhood. That brother that you see is failing, you know what I mean? You might be going a little bit slower than other brothers. You know what I mean? You take your time with that brother. You don't try to shun that brother up. In the world, if you know how you was in the world, if it was a brother or a sister that wasn't doing the things that you need for them to do, you would just pretty much antiquate them, push them to the side and say, you know what, I can't help that brother out. You know, sometimes you got to do that, but sometimes you just got to be patient enough with a brother, and then that brother will be the most, you know, that brother can grow up to be a important figure in the state of Israel. You know what I mean? So you never want to kind of shun that brother. You never want to shun him. You never want to push that brother to the side. That's not what we do here. That's not what you want to do. You always want to love your brother as yourself, man. And let me go ahead and show you about what the Lord say about you being good to your brother, and what he says about, you know, you love your brother in your heart, because that's what it is. It's got to start with your heart first. You know what I mean? If it's not in your heart, if it's not in your brain, guess what's gonna happen? You never gonna learn to love that brother first and foremost. But you definitely gonna, you know, you ain't gonna show no brotherhood to that person. So let me go ahead and get to this. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and I'm starting at verse 17, and we're gonna go to 18. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Don't hate your brother in your heart. If your brother offended you in any type of way, I don't care if you're a trooper, officer of 50, officer of 500,000, 5,000, captain, general. That's why we can be as strong as we are today, because of the fact that we can go to that brother and that brother alone, and we can talk to him. And because of the fact that you did that, maybe y'all might not see eye to eye. Maybe you might have to resort to counsel. We got protocols on that in the school. All you got to do is contact the men above you. But because of the fact that you went to that brother and brother alone, sometimes it might not even need to go to counsel. It might just be a simple misunderstanding. That happens. That happens, you know, quite frequently. But you get that resolved, and guess what? You gain a brother at the end of the day. So you got to love that brother in your heart. You know what I mean? You have to love him in your heart. But you can't hate him in your heart either. Because if you hate him in your heart, this is what the Lord said about that. I'm going to go ahead and read to you what he said. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. So we are the same people. You can't hold no grudge against no brother. You can't just have this animosity towards a brother. You can't go around his brother and just be like, man, I can't believe he did this to me 5 weeks ago. You know what I mean? He did this to me. I ain't never got this resolved. This brother, he took my car and he didn't even refill it with gas. This brother never paid me for this and that. Just go to him alone. Maybe some brothers need to be told twice. In the words of Captain Akai, some brothers need to be told multiple times, you know, to do something. So you might need to that brother, Slaki, Ak, or, Shalom Lord Christ, I don't want, Slaki, if I could just get that money for my car, because, I ain't got this. Slaki, Ak, if I could get that money for my car, because I ain't got this. That's all it really takes at the end of the day. Simple things might just be a misunderstanding. It just might be. But you got to be a brother enough to be able to come to him alone. We can't be like brothers in the world who don't care. Some brothers in the world, I'm speaking for myself. I used to be a brother where if somebody offended me, guess what? I never went to them. I let it build and I separated myself away from them. So when I saw them again, guess what? I hated that brother. I hated them. We work with our oppressors every day. They do stuff like this. We can't do stuff like this. In the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native American man, woman, or child, I mean, come on now, even your own children, you cannot sit here and have animosity to your brother or your sister. I don't care what may have happened. You know what I mean? Hey, Shalom Lord Christ is on. Shalom Lord Christ, Adawan. All right, let's go ahead and get back to this. And not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I mean, you got to love your neighbor. You got to love that brother like how you would perceive yourself being, with another brother. You know what I mean? You can't just sit here and just hold a grudge to a brother. Imagine if you was in a position. Wouldn't you want a brother to show you a little bit of grace? Be like, all right, I understand, maybe you forgot, and in the Israelite School, Universal and Practical Knowledge, we do a lot. So it's easy for something to be slipped, but you can't let that build on you. You can't let that grudge happen to you. Like I said, we don't do this in the school. We don't have a grudge. We don't hold grudges upon, a brother. It's like we don't hold grudges upon, a sister. We don't do that. If a sister or a brother offends you, guess what? You go to them and them alone. And if they don't hear you, then it's counsel. We have protocols for everything. In the world, guess what? If somebody offends you, you either got to duke it out or you just got to leave them alone. But in the school, we retain that brotherhood and that sisterhood. We take that seriously. Hell, we take that shit seriously. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So basically, he's stamping that with his seal of approval. He is the Lord. You know what I mean? Basically, he's saying it is what it is. You have to do that. If you don't do that, well, guess what? The Lord is not going to see you as his children at all. He'll rebuke you. If you can't look at that black man that you in poverty with, he got to go to his 9 to 5. He trying to do whatever. A lot of brothers, they say, I'm trapping on the block. Well, guess what? Y'all all poor. You all broke. I don't care if you wearing $1,000 Margielas, man. You still broke. You poor. You're not no millionaire. That same brother that's going through the same thing as you, you got to look at him like if you were looking at yourself. You know what I mean? So let's continue.
I'm just saying, I can hear you. I'm just saying.
All right. So basically what I was saying, I'm gonna go ahead and get this next verse. This is the book of 1 John chapter 4 and verse 20. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. So a lot of you Negroes out there, you say that I love God, I'm a God-fearing man. I love God. Don't you love God? Oh, I love God. And you know that song. Well, guess what? The Lord just said, if you love God and hate your brother, you a liar. You don't love God. You know what I mean? You don't love God. Because how can you say that you love somebody, but you hate the same brother that you see every day? The brother live right next to you. Yeah, that brother might be a little bit off. Yeah, he might be a little bit, like I said, some brothers need to be reminded multiple times to do something. Well, guess what? That brother there, that's your brother at the end of the day. That's the root word. Congratulations. You just found out the word. That's your brother at the end of the day. You can't sit there and show animosity to him. You can't hate him. You know what I mean? Because that's a sin against the Most High. And I don't think you want to make the Most High mad. Because when you make the Most High mad, in the words of Captain Akkad, children die. There's a story about that in the Bible. You know what I mean? He killed all them, the firstborn in Egypt. I'm just saying. But let's get back to this verse. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. Salaki. You know what? Salaki. Oh, all right. So back to 1 John chapter 4, 20 and verse 21. Yeah, I'm going to 21. For he that loveth not his brother whom he have seen, how can he love God who he have not seen? How can you love God who's not here physically with us? He is physically here with us, but you can't see him. You can't see him. But guess what? You see your brother every goddamn day. You got to go to work with him. You got to walk down the street past him. You got to be in the hood with him. You got to be in the barrios with him. You got to be in the Native American reservations with him. You know what I mean? How can you love God who you ain't seen, but hate your brother who you see every day? I know that brother might come off, a little bit, but you can't, come off a little bit of, some brothers ain't there with us. You can't hate them, though. You can't be like, man, fuck this nigga. Like how people say. You can't say that. You got to love that brother. You know what I mean? You got to love that sister. Some sisters might not have grown up the same way that you did. You know what I mean? So you might go about things a different way. Some brothers, same way. But you can't hate him. You can't take that away from him. Think about it like this. You got white people at your job every day who literally make your life a living hell. A living hell. They talk down to you. They disrespect you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anything that you got going on. But guess what? You got a brother there who may not even know, but guess what? You can't hate him. You take that energy for the oppressor and you give it back to the oppressor. What do I mean by that? Don't mean no cussing them. Don't cuss at them. Don't put your hands on them. You can't do that. That's a sin. But you take that energy that oppressor gave you for that oppressor, and you take that energy and you love your brother and your sister even more. You love them even more. You say, listen, we go through the same shit. Sometimes, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, sometimes we might go to each other and be like, man, look at this white, this white person over here. Look at this white motherfucker over here. You know what I mean? We got to be like that, man. We have to. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shamar, Thumb by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, sis. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go on. All right, verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God, love his brother also. So if you really love God, you're going to love that brother too. You're going to love that sister too. I don't care what y'all done went through. You still love them at the end of the day. That's what we got to understand as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We have to love each other. You know what I mean? If you really love God, you're going to love that nigga that you sit next to. You know what I mean? You're going to love that spick and that savage. You're going to love them. You know what I mean? Because we all in this hellhole together. We've been all dealt a dirty deck of cards in this kingdom. That's a little bit, you know what I mean? For you old heads out there, I ain't too far out the loop, so I know little, things like that. But we've been dealt a bad deck of cards. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So we got to learn to love each other. So let me go ahead and get this next verse, go ahead and top this off. This is the book of John, chapter 13, verse 34, and I'm going to 35. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. This is what the Most High is saying, that you got to love each other just like how the Most High loves you. Because you could have been killed for being a disgusting, filthy bastard a long time ago. Every fucking sin that you did, every, discrepancy that you had with the scriptures, the law, statutes, and commandments, you might be like, man, why do I have to stop loving, 304s? Why do I have to stop, eating pork? Why do I have to stop doing things that offend the Most High? Well, guess what? The Most High loved you enough that he didn't kill your wicked ass. He didn't. And he will not. Unalive you. He didn't. Guess what? The Most High loves you that much. Hey, shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah Brak the Thug. Also Tabaka Nas out of one. As ye have done it unto one of least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Slaki, actually. Verse 35. By this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love one to another. Like Christ is saying, you my disciple if you love one another. You know what I mean? Y'all all my disciples. I think everybody want to roll with Christ, right? Everybody want to be a Christ follower, a Christian, which we not Christians, but you want to be a Christ follower. Well, guess what? If you want to be a Christ follower, you look at that black man who you've been disregarding for a long time. You look at that Native American man who you just been disregarding for a long time. Same with the Hispanic man. And you say, listen, I love you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. I love you enough that I won't sell you weed. I love you enough that I won't try to finesse you. I love you enough that guess what? I ain't gonna try to, sleep with your woman. That's how much I love you. And I honor you. You know what I mean? We don't say respect. That's a little bit worldly, but I honor you that much as my brother that I'm not going to be doing that stuff to you. That's what you're supposed to be saying to your brother, man. All these brothers that I'm even looking at in my comment section and sisters, it's lucky that I'm looking at my comment section. I love y'all, man. You know what I mean? That's what we get taught every day in this UPK, man. This right here is keeping a lot of brothers and sisters going every day. I'm telling you, every day. You know what I mean? Just by the love alone. So we got to really know and get taught how to love one another, because we can't be taught how to learn, how to love one another if we don't know how to love one another. We've been taught by the oppressor how to love one another. And that's, if you light skin and you brown skin, y'all the same. Y'all the different people. You know what I mean? Y'all really the same people, but y'all different people according to this oppressor. If you got a better job than him, well, guess what? You're an individual. You are an American. You know what I mean? You are African American. You know what I mean? We can't be separated like this. We got to come back to one another, because we all we got. I stress this a lot every class. We all we got. So Salaki, let me get back to it. Select. All right, that's enough for that. So, like the Most High was saying, let me go ahead and get Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 through 40. Master, which is the great commandment in the law. Verse 37. Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. So you got to love the Lord with all your soul and your mind. What's your soul? What's your mind? It's right here. It ain't up here. It's right here. This is it. Oh, well, actually, you know what? It is up here, because at the end of the day, you got to think about what you do at the end of the day. What starts up here can translate to out here. So you might be thinking, man, I'm going to go ahead and do something that might, you might not be thinking clearly, but you got to love the Lord thy God with everything. You know what I mean? So that's what he's saying to you. Verse 38. This is the first and great commandment. Verse 39. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's the Lord telling you right then and there. You got to love your neighbor as you love thyself. So look at that brother, that Hispanic brother, that Native American brother. You got to say, I see myself in you. Because guess what? I got to struggle in this kingdom. I got to go to work, get demeaned and emasculated and get, felt like I'm less of a person. Well, guess what? When we come here, guess what? We got love here in the UPK. We got to have love here in the UPK. We love all of our brothers. I mean, it's been brothers who will literally give you the shoes off their damn feet. Give you the shoes off their feet, the jacket off their back. That's what you call brotherhood. That's what you call sisterhood in this truth. You know what I mean? This ain't taken lightly, because can't nobody replicate this. No matter what you think you in. Fake Israelite groups, signing NDAs. Well, guess what? We actually take this seriously. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get back to this. Verse 40. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So with that being said, like I said, make sure that when you're looking at that brother, sister, make sure that you're looking at them like you're looking at yourself. You know what I mean? Look at, anybody, that's a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, 12 tribes of Israel. You got to look at them like how you would yourself. You know what I mean? If you don't, then you will never be, the Lord is, he ain't gonna deal with you. You can't even love your brother. How can you love me? You don't even see me. You say every day, oh, I love God. Don't you love God? You can't even love that brother. So guess what? The Most High don't want to deal with your wicked ass. Sorry, not sorry. Ain't no sorry, ain't no sorry on that. Ain't no salaki on that. The Lord just ain't gonna deal with your wicked ass just because of that. All right. So just to, go back on this, the Lord is very key on this as, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 12 through 14. This is my commandment, that ye love one another. So pause on that, man. Let me go ahead and read that one more time for if anybody didn't understand that. That ye love one another. So you got to love one another. Come on now. It says it right there in the Bible that you have to love one another. So that's a commandment. Maybe your parent might tell you, they might write down a list of rules, or they might repeat a specific set of rules for a long time. You know what I mean? And you might be like, all right, you know what? These are the rules. But they might tell you to do something else. They might tell you, hey, you know what? I need for you to, make sure that you don't go over here. Well, guess what? That's a rule too, because they told you to do something and you have to obey that. If you don't obey it, you get punished, right? With any good parent. Well, guess what? The Most High is our ultimate parent. He's our ultimate parent. He's going to make sure that if we don't do what we're supposed to be doing, we're going to get punished. But guess what? Here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, One West, we teach brothers, sisters, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to do what the Most High says. Thus saith the Most High in the Bible. You know what? I love you brothers enough where I don't want to see y'all to, get, unalived or, have to really get punished by the Most High. Because like I said, when the Most High gets angry, he kills children. I don't think you want to deal with that, brother or sister who tuning in tonight. I don't think you want to deal with that. Let's go ahead and get back to it. As I had loved you. So you got to love that brother like the Most High loved your wicked ass. You done been here finessing and scamming and being a grimy ass son of a bitch and a bastard for all your life. But the Most High loved you enough where you still here today and you can actually change your life. That's love. Because if you actually sin, and you want to get somebody that much times, we already know. Niggas in the world, if somebody don't do what you saying and they don't really, rock with you that way, guess what? You drop them. But the Most High is still trying to rock with you because you have another purpose in the school. You can't be a disgusting bastard. You can't. You can't be a disgusting person. That just don't work out. It's lucky. As I have loved you, greater love hath no man than this. Like no man has no greater love than this. You know what I mean? No mortal man that's walking on the face of the earth, he has no love like this. Nobody. But you got to get taught how to do this according to the scriptures. Most importantly, by the man, by the priests and prophets ordained in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. No purple robe is going to tell you how to love your brother because guess what? They don't even love their sisters enough to protect them. We love our sisters enough to protect them. We love our brothers enough to protect them. Why? Because we tell you stop doing this stuff that you was doing in the streets. Stop being a wicked person. Stop doing this act against your brother that's going to cause your brother to get harmed. Stop doing all that. You know what I mean? Stop doing all that. That's what we teach every day. So when it comes to brotherhood and being a weapon, knowing this brotherhood is going to keep everybody going. Knowing this brotherhood is going to keep a brother who might be on the edge, Brotherhood is, let me tell you this is brotherhood. You get a call at 12 a.m. and a brother might be, a little bit out his mind. You know what I mean? He might not be seeing things right, but because you picked up the phone right then and there and you heard that brother out, and you might be on the phone with this brother all morning. Like it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. You got to get up for work at 6. You might be on the phone with this brother until 8. You got to be like, Salaki, let me go to my job real quick. I'll call you back. Just so that this brother got another chance to fight again. That's brotherhood. Because a lot of brothers, they not as strong as other brothers. But guess what? We have brotherhood to rely on when that time comes. Simple. I don't know what to tell you. You ain't gonna find this in your Christian church. You ain't gonna find this in a Muslim mosque. You definitely not gonna find this in your fake Israelite group that wear purple or, curtain rods as, garments and teach to a wall at Saturday at 12 p.m. You know what I mean? Or 12 a.m. You ain't gonna be able to find that. But you're gonna be able to find that here. And most importantly, I'm going to go ahead and show you what the Most High said about that as well. You know what I mean? That a man lay down his life for his friends. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. So the Most High is even saying there that you going to be my friend. I mean, dang. Don't you want to be a friend of the Most High? I know I do. I know a lot of you brothers and sisters would want to be a friend of the Most High, and you think that you're a friend of the Most High. You think that, oh, I don't. A lot of. I'm gonna go ahead and focus on the women here when I say this. A lot of you single women out there, y'all think that y'all just got a relationship with God. That don't exist. You talking to a demon. The demon is the reason why you can't get a man, because every time you go around a man, you gotta feel like you gotta assert your authority on him. So every night you come home and you gotta sleep by yourself, and you hear a knock on your wall, and you hopping up like, oh my God, somebody finally. Listen, sis, hear me out when I say this. What the Bible say? Ye are my friends. You know what I mean? And if you're a friend of the Most High, guess what the Most High is gonna do? He gonna put a man in your life. If you just stop being a wicked sister, a wicked bitch, a wicked nigga, guess what? The Most High is gonna put a righteous man and a righteous woman in your life. You know what I mean? A woman that actually listens to you. I'm gonna go ahead and focus on a man now. You know what I mean? You don't have to cuss that bitch out every night because she don't listen to you. Maybe stop sleeping with 304s. Have you tried that? Maybe stop going after the woman who half naked in the club. Maybe that might help. You know what I mean? Maybe, how about this? Even better. How about you actually slow down and you get to know the woman before you try to sleep, lay down with her. That might help. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these women out here, they not worthy. A lot of these men out here, they don't know. You know what I mean? Speaking to the brothers, you know what I mean? You have to make sure that you are a friend of the Most High by doing what he tells you. First and foremost, you got to love that brother. Stop trying to get up and try to be some dominant force. You can't be Debo. You can't Debo no nigga, man. You know what I mean? Because Most High is going to show you, his bad side. And guess what? You're going to try to do something to a brother. And guess what? The brother going to have something on him that you don't got. And you're gone. You ain't coming back. You are coming back. But guess what? You got a chance right now to make it right. Why even go through all that? You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and get this next verse. This is book of Mark 12 and verse 20. This is the book of Mark 12 and verse 31. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I mean, all in the Bible, the Most High is telling you to love your neighbor, love your brother, love your brother. Why do you think that he's repeating that so much? Why do you think he's reiterating that? Because it's so important for you to do so. You can't sit here and think that you can't love your brother, that think that you can just, skim past it and you can still be a wicked person. Guess what? You have to love your brother. You know what I mean? Brothers made a way for you to get here right now to even listen to this right now. You gotta love your brother. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, he may have, did something crazy to you in the past. Yeah, he may have, finessed you, did this, did that. It's like, but you still have to love him. You can't just sit there and not love him. You can't sit there and just not want to, want to be a part of whatever that brother got going on. You don't have to, but just love him enough to let that brother go. Don't even take it as serious. Tell that brother, hey, listen, you did me wrong. Come to that brother alone. But you got to listen to him. It's like, but you got to listen to him. You know what I mean? You got to listen to the Most High when he says, if you want to be a friend of mine, you got to love your brother first and foremost. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and get this next verse. Oh, Salaki, let me finish off this verse. There is none other commandment greater than thee. Ain't no other commandment greater than that. And that's just loving your brother. That's just literally going to your brother when he did you wrong, when he offended you, going to your sister, going to your, that, and going to her, him alone, and letting them know that, hey, listen, you did me wrong. And if he don't hear you, you go to counsel. In a world, you can't go to counsel. In a world, it's like if he don't hear you, you gotta kill him. You gotta unalive him. Are you serious? That's why we don't try to be a part of this world, because the world says if that brother don't hear you, then y'all gotta fight. And guess what? Niggas don't like to lose. Niggas don't like to lose. So niggas, Usually they come back with a vendetta. You know what I mean? But guess what? In this truth, in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, if you're not in here, you're not in the truth. You know what I mean? We teach that you have to go to that brother and sister alone. And if they don't hear you, you got to go to counsel. You know what I mean? And guess what? If they do hear you, you just regain that brother. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and get that verse for you all, if I could. Lucky. Lucky, bear with me. All right, Most High in Christ. We got the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Starting at 15, but we're going to go all the way down to 20 just for, just to try to get the gist of this pretty much. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 18 and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go to him his fault between thee and him alone. So just like what I was saying, I don't want to make it seem like that I was just saying this on my own. I don't want to make it seem like that I was just talking just to talk. If your brother offends you, you have to go to him alone. You know what I mean? You can't just make it a big deal. You can't go on Facebook and make a post talking about, oh, well, this happened. Guess what? Now that brother's offended because you didn't involve other people who shouldn't know this. Y'all could have went and hashed this out. Like I said, a lot of times it's really just chalked out to a disagreement. It's really that. It ain't even nothing serious. It's just a not a disagreement. It is a disagreement, but really, it's really a miscommunication, if anything. Yeah, y'all might disagree, but it's really a miscommunication. But if you don't go to him or him alone, then guess what? You'll never regain that brother. You know what I mean? If you just feel like that you got to hold that in, you'll never do that. Sometimes that would even cause a brother to lead the truth because of the fact that they never went to that brother alone. They just feel like this is how it's supposed to be. Well, guess what? If let's just say a brother, brothers. All right, Most High in Christ, I'm back on. We might have to go to that brother alone because he might be drinking a little bit too much. If you notice that a brother is drinking a little bit too much, and then he might put himself in a way of harm's way, wouldn't you want to go to him alone and talk to him and say, hey, listen, brother, you've been taking a little bit too many sips. You know what I mean? You need to sit down a little bit, if I could. Salakia, sir. I noticed that you said this. I think you've been drinking a little bit too much. If I could, you offended me when you said this time. Guess what that brother is gonna say? He gonna say, Salakia, that's my bad. I'll try to work on that. I didn't mean to offend you, brother. And y'all dap it up. Shalom, Lord Christ. Easy. But if that brother is making excuses, well, you go to counsel. You go to your camp leader, and then you call it a day from there. Because he might not see it there, but he might see it in the council after everybody then pretty much threw everything at him. He might. You know what I mean? But we cannot sit here and try to deny that. We can't sit here and try to, put that behind us. We can't put nothing that our brother did behind us and think that we can still be brothers at the end of the day. Sometimes you just need to get this resolved. That's really the best way to do it, is get it resolved and get it done. So let me go ahead and get back to the scripture. Salakia. All right, Most High in Christ. All right. Salakia, I think it may have gotten kicked off of my computer here. No sweat. Let me go ahead and. All right, no sweat. I got it back. All right, verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take thee or two more, that in the mouth or 2 or 3 witnesses every word shall be established. So you got to take him into counsel, and you got to take the witnesses into counsel too. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you might need somebody else to, have your back. You might be in the wrong. You never know. You might be in the wrong. You might be the one that's getting taken to counsel. You know what I mean? And then you might need other people to show you, hey, listen, it's not just this brother. We also saw it too. We need to get this right. We need to get this back on track. You know what I mean? We are in the truth at the end of the day. How are we going to be in the truth if we got disagreements and discrepancies amongst each other? How are we going to be in the truth if it's confusion? You know what I mean? The Lord said, and I'm going to go ahead and get this verse right here since I already got it on the tip of my mind. All right, Most High in Christ. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 33. And this is what I was basically referring to. You know what I mean? The Most High is not the author of confusion. You know what I mean? He don't just say things and do things. And, it's always like, one thing that don't add up with each other. That just don't happen. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and read to you what he said. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion. So right there, the verse is telling you right there that Yahweh is not the author of confusion. So if he's not the author of confusion, that should let you know that things can't just be one way when it should be one way and nobody just resolves it. You know what I mean? We can't just be going left and right and nothing adds up with each other. That just don't happen. Not in this truth. You know what I mean? The Lord is not the author of confusion. So if you need to go to that brother and go to that brother alone, you don't need to feel like, let me get back to this verse. All right, Most High in Christ. You don't need to go to this. You don't need to feel like the Lord is the author of confusion. You don't need to feel like this truth, it's confusion in it. Things get resolved in here. Things get handled. We don't care by any means necessary. Things will get handled in here, whether you like it or not. Just so we got another chance to have brotherhood up in here, because some brothers might be hard-headed. Let's be honest. We fighting demons every day. So a brother, Salakia, might have a demon of, hard-headedness. They don't listen. They don't care to listen. Well, guess what? You get that resolved. You don't just let that fester. Because the moment that you let that fester, well, guess what? Then we don't have no brotherhood. Then we don't have no sisterhood. Most importantly, we won't have no truth. We'll be looking like them fake Israelite camps who sign NDAs and then all types of just nasty wickedness go inside, they households. We not that. You know what I mean? Verse 17. And if he shall if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church, which is basically the congregation. It's not like the Christian church. You know what I mean? I want to clarify that. We ain't talking about no Christian church. No, we talking about the congregation, man, amongst your brothers, man. But if he neglect to hear the church, which is the congregation, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. So basically, let him just be somebody who you can't really deal with. You know what I mean? They'll get handled. You know what I mean? At that point, it's out your hands. This brother is just too hard-headed and too stubborn and too just out the loop to even be, able to even get talked to at this time. You know what I mean? Verse 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on this earth shall be bound in heaven. So whatever you put on this earth, it's gonna be binded in heaven. It's gonna be solidified in heaven. So you can't be this wicked bastard on earth and think that in heaven you just gonna be this, how can I say? I don't want to sound Christian when I say this, and be this upstanding, righteous, servant of the Lord in heaven. No, that's just not how it's gonna work. You know what I mean? Because the same person that you were, it's your spirit at the end of the day. This right here, this external shell, you know what I mean? Your arms can fall off, your fingers can fall off, your feet can fall off, but your soul is going to stay intact. It might hurt, but your soul is going to stay intact because your soul is the thing that it's power in this body. You know what I mean? It's like batteries. You know what I mean? The way how you are here is the way how your soul is gonna be binded in, in heaven. You know what I mean? Verse 19. Again, I say unto you that if two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father in heaven. So you got to really make sure that y'all come together as brothers, man, and get this together. Most importantly, we got to save our people. Think about it like this. How we going to have conflict when it's our people out there literally on drugs and on the streets? We got children getting, raped. I'm going to say it, and all types of assaulted in different forms. So how can you, as a brother, sit here and hate another brother when we just got so much work out there that we got to do? Folk, think about it like that. Resolve that with your brother so we can go out there and work. We in this together. Didn't I say this? You and your brother that's going out there doing that work every Saturday, going out there at camp, going out, to Sabbath service, going to class, doing all this, you work behind the scenes. That's your brother, man. Hey, you might even be, doing what we doing, until April. We got to remember that brotherhood is more important than anything. Without this brotherhood, we ain't got no truth. We don't have no One West. There's no Isupk. There's none of that. It's not even me talking to you. Because if I never experienced the brotherhood, I won't be here. I just feel like, all right, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and just go back to my wicked ways because nobody resolved that. We have to make sure that we are on top of this 155%. Okay. Verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. So if you come in with your brother and you just want to resolve this confliction with your brother, guess what? The Most High is there with y'all. He there. You can't see him, obviously, but he there. He gonna make sure that this was separated is gonna come right back into this. Because guess what? You two brothers alone are more powerful than a goddamn United States military. Just you two brothers alone that's resolving y'all conflict. You are greater than the United States fucking military. Any military in this world. Because guess what? You and that brother that you didn't, resolved your conflict with, guess what? Y'all pretty much gonna take over the world. What I mean by that, you gonna save brothers from being a wicked bastard. You gonna go out there on camp and you gonna blaze on a microphone, and guess what? You might have a brother come and get a flyer and he just see how y'all operate, and he might be like, I want to do this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I might be like, you might be even looking at the next, captain right then and there. You might be looking at this brother who done went through a life of torment and hell, and guess what? You done made this brother into a wonderful priest and prophet of the Lord, just by the way how you and brothers operate each other, especially with the brother that you may have conflict with, with. We cannot act like brothers in the world because brothers, and I say brothers in the world because they are Israel, but we can't act like, men in the world because the world tells you, hey, listen, you just got to disregard everything. You can't look at that brother, sister, like they're your sister because y'all got so many differences when y'all have zero, literally. Just because you got a better job than you, what does that mean? Just because you got a better car than you, then what that mean? Y'all still niggas. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, I hate to tell you this, y'all still niggas. You know what I mean? So let's get back to this. You know what? Actually, we're gonna drop that and get to another verse. Yeah, that's it on that. All right. So I got another verse here. Let me get the book of Luke. No. Slovakia, bear with me. This is the book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 24. And I'm going to go ahead and go to 26. You know what I mean? Slovakia. Go back to StreamYard right here. right here. All right. So this is the book of Mark, chapter 3, and I'm going to go ahead and start at 24, though. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom can't stand. So this could go for a lot of cases, but what I'm talking about right here when it comes to brotherhood, you can't have a strong foundation if the foundations are split in half. Like, you ever seen them beams that hold the walls and everything up? Imagine if those were slashed and divided and one was over here and one was over there. That'd be a weak foundation. It will fall. It will crumble. I mean, we talking about just, I mean, that's common sense at this point. You know what I mean? A divided kingdom can't stand. If two people are at odds with each other and you in the truth, well, guess what? You can't, this can't stand. Imagine if, you know, two powerful brothers that, I mean, you can name anybody when it comes to this scenario. Imagine if they was at arms with each other. Well, guess what? We can't stand. We don't have a kingdom at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And we need to make sure that we push this truth forward and we push this kingdom forward. Verse 25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house can't stand. So we talking about like pretty much in your own household. You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead and pretty much. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 26. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. So if, you know, your oppressor, if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he can't even stand. If your oppressor is divided, he can't stand. But guess who's divided? Us, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are the only people that's, pretty much divided. Whether it be ideologies, religions, skin tones, gangs, jobs, economic, levels, middle class, high class. Oh, this brother's, he make a little bit more, things like that divides us, because guess what? When you get to a certain position, and we seen them brothers before, they get a good job, they get a different woman, they move somewhere, and they think that they ain't got to talk to a brother no more. Yet you still there in the hood, y'all been at the hood, and guess what? At the end of the day, if all else fails, you going right back to that hood at the end of the day. And that's usually how it could happen, at least. Let me just say it like that. I ain't gonna say it is gonna happen. I don't want to be that negative to you brothers, but the main purpose of this is for you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to know that we all the same people at the end of the day. Blacks and Hispanics, blacks and Native Americans, blacks and blacks, Hispanics and Hispanics, Native Americans and Native Americans, man. We are God's chosen people, man. This is why we can have a truth today, because of this brotherhood. You will never find this ever. I don't care if they try to give you the impression that it's brotherhood in that place. It's no brotherhood in that place. It's desolate. The Lord is not there. The Lord is hearing the truth, because guess what? The same way that we'll feed a brother, clothe a brother, house a brother. You got brothers coming from different states, and a brother will have them in his house out of trust. Are you kidding me, man? You can't find this nowhere else. You can't find this nowhere else, man. Because we love our brothers a lot, man. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get this next. Like I was saying earlier too, about the us not being able to come together. We need to learn how to be brothers within this truth and not be brothers within this, this society, man. It's like, let me get this verse. Okay, perfect. The Most High says it in the Bible. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2. And I'm going to just go ahead and stick to chapter 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. So why did I bring out this verse? Obviously to tell you that the heathen's way, our oppressor's way, is to separate us. Separate us as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, most importantly. But make us separated to the point that we don't see anything that's similar to each other. You might see a brother who might not have it just like you, and you look at him and be like, man, look at this nigga, man. He ain't even got it. He ain't even got no shoes on. This nigga's a bum. Our oppressor tells us to hate each other like how they hate us. They hate us just by anything. But then if they can get us to hate each other, then they really succeeded, because then they can really divide and conquer us like that. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and get this verse. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. You know what I mean? So when that time comes, and I'm jumping, and I'm sticking to this verse, when that time comes, when that time comes when the heavens will be, or actually right now, you might see the sun might turn red, or you might see a lot of shooting stars in the sky. Guess what? Don't be concerned with that. Don't be concerned with that. This is what the Most High is saying to you. Don't even be concerned with that, man. Let that be what it's got to be. Don't let that, make you feel like you got to be concerned with something that's not really important. What you need to be concerned about is loving that black man that finessed you, okay? And what do I mean by that? You ain't got to like him. You ain't got to do that. But you still love him enough where you just don't just unalive him for no reason. That should never happen between us. It's better for that brother to get punishment and get judgment, thus saith the Most High, with whatever you got to do, than for you to, do something to that brother that's going to cause that brother to not be able to see the error of his ways. Because guess what? We all get a second chance at this. Everybody, myself, everybody, we all get a second chance at the BS that we do. But when we get that second chance, we got to make good on it. We can't just get a second chance and just not do nothing on it. You know what I mean? For the heathen is dismayed at them. So just basically, ending off that verse, the heathen, they act like that. Pretty much. They don't like each other. They go at each other's necks and they love each other. What do I mean by that? Because the moment that you try to do the same thing that they do with each other, guess what? They're going to get with each other and they're going to be like, look at this nigga right here. Who they think they is? Who you think LaQuisha is, man? Trying to sit up here and talk about these other white people. These are my white sisters, man. At the end of the day, I can guarantee they got all types of stuff going on with them, but that's for a different time. What we're going to stick on is loving each other. We're going to stick on loving Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, okay? Loving each other enough that we separate from this kingdom with our philosophies and our mindsets, meaning don't celebrate, 4th of July, because in the Constitution it says we are still 3/4 of a man. How the hell is that? Yet they trying to get us to vote. They trying to get the black vote, but nobody talking about in the Constitution how we still 3/4 of a man. You know what I mean? Some Asians got hurt 3, 4, 5 years ago, and they put in a whole bill talking about stop Asian hate. Yet we ain't got nothing in the Constitution saying that niggas need to stop being called 3/4 of a man. The Hispanics need to be, need to stop being deported, over the border. You know what I mean? Locked in dog cages, children disappearing, ending up across the world somewhere. You know what I mean? Just all type of wickedness. You know what I mean? We need to not think that we can't, come together as a people, because we need to solve this. We need to get this shit taken care of. Simple. So let me go ahead and get this next verse if I could. And because of the fact that we adhere to this, Slovakia. Let me go ahead and jump back. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back to Matthew chapter 18, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go to verse 18. 18 and verse 18. Verily I say to you, Slovakia. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop that verse. That's done with. My thing is, love your brother, love your sister like you love yourself. If you don't do that, there's no way that we as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can come back to each other. You know what I mean? Like, because of this truth, we live every day. Every day in this truth we live. Every day. By just that alone. So I'm gonna go ahead and get you another verse to just go ahead and just basically go along with what I'm talking with. Let me go ahead and get the book of. Let me make sure that this is the right one. Lock you, bear with me. Slocky, bear with me. Get this verse here. Okay. So, all right, let me go ahead and get this. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 4. For to him that is joined to all the living, there is hope. You know what I mean? So basically, the reason why we got brotherhood and we preach brotherhood so hard is because we are all alive and we here today because of this truth. This truth is teaching brotherhood. We don't teach that you got to sleep with another man's wife. We teach against that. It says in the Bible not to, sleep with another man's wife. Love that brother. You know what I mean? Don't try to, take that brother's pride and joy away from him. Think about that. If you sleep with another man's wife, you're just a alternative lifestyle member. I'm gonna tell you that. Ain't no nothing in that that's supposed to be cheered and in admiration. You know what I mean? You doing that, what's the point? What's the point? Why do that to your brother, man? I thought he was your brother. You know what I mean? If you love your brother, you wouldn't do that to him. All right, so my next one, let me get 10, 12, 31. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. Let me get Mark chapter 12 and verse. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this. Basically, if you don't look at that brother like, you would look at yourself, then what are you doing in this truth, first and foremost? You know what I mean? If you sitting here and you thinking that it's some type of difference, man, this brother offended me, you never went to go and get counsel for it, you let this brother still do it, and this brother might not even know. You know what I mean? You get counsel for it. You know what I mean? We need to have brotherhood amongst each other. You know what I mean? Shouts out to Captain Akai. We get taught this a lot. Let me just say it like that, plain and simple. We get taught this a lot. There's nothing about this that is pretty much, how can I say, a secret. We get taught this. So, all right, so let me go ahead and get this next verse. Slocky, bear with me. All right, Most High Christ. So just like, what I was saying, we all come from the same place too. We all come from the same, iniquities that was done unto us. You know what I mean? It says it here, and I'm going to go ahead and get it for y'all in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. So basically, what does that mean? Who been into Egypt again with ships? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? Niggas, spicks, and savages. We were all brought over here in some type of way, which when I say Native Americans, we talking about the Taino Indians. You know what I mean? Hispanics that came over here, the Taino Indians, and the Native Americans that were here too, with ships. And when we say Egypt again, we're talking about bondage. We've been in bondage. Everybody been in bondage when it comes to the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not talking about everybody when it says that. By the way of wherefore I spake unto thee. And most importantly, I brought this out last time I brought the scripture out. If you're new here and everything, I'll go ahead and break it down for you. Basically, you can't go to Egypt again with no ship. It's sand everywhere. I mean, you can't do it. That just won't work. What you need to do is realize that when the Lord was saying that, he was talking about he's gonna put you in bondage again because of all the sin that we did did to the Most High. You know what I mean? We didn't even keep our traditions. We broke the law, statutes, and commandments. Our ancestors did, us back in the day. You know what I mean? Which is why we're here today. Which is why we don't have the brotherhood and the sisterhood like how you see other nations do. You'll see an Arab man at your job, and if there was another Arab man, guess what? They're gonna go get with each other and start talking, all that nonsense. If a Chinese man was at your job and there was another Chinese man at your job, guess what? They go get with each other, they go talk they nonsense, and they go be clicked up. But Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we always try to run and attach ourselves to other people's culture, whether that be Christianity, being a Muslim, or, trying to be Buddhist or whatever the case may be, or whatever. We always try to attach ourselves to other people's culture instead of trying to come back to each other and learn our own culture. Because our culture is the culture that's been taken away from us, and it's over in a different country getting bastardized. You know what I mean? They think that they us, but they really not us. You know what I mean? They're not like us. You know what I mean? And we're talking about the fake Jewish man who took our culture. That's what I'm referring to. I don't want nobody to think that I'm talking about something else. We're talking about the fake Jewish man that took our culture and ran to another country and trying to proclaim themselves as us when we are us. We're them, in a sense. You know what I mean? So let me keep on going. Thou shalt see it no more. So what is he talking about? You ain't gonna see your homeland no more. And Egypt was not our homeland. For you stupid niggas out there who think that we all commit and we came from Egypt and we all, nah, nigga. The people that you think that you are is the people that put you in slavery. What you see over there in Egypt when they got them other people over there, I don't know. I think they Palestinian people. Listen, I don't know. That's a whole wormhole that you could probably tap into a different time. But the people that you see over there, the light skin, whatever, that's them. That ain't us. That's our oppressor. And our oppressor is such an evil bastard. They even trying to take over other people's cultures. You know what I mean? You got the white man trying to say that he the real African. That's crazy. Think about that. You got the white South African man thinking that they African, which, let me just say this. We are not African. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have no African in us at all. We are not that. Let them people be over there eating monkeys and licking cow anuses and all that shit. Let them do that. They're literally eating what I just said, shit. Let them do that. I don't think you want to do that. I know you wake up in the morning and your breath smell like that, but I don't think you want to eat that. Let's keep on going, though. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bond men and bond women. And I mean, right there is telling you, that's basically telling you about, us being, on them auction blocks, being slaves. The first, trade on Wall Street was a slave. The reason why the economic system got into place was due to slavery. I mean, you can look at Britain's wealth. It started on slavery, which is why we are where we are right now, because our ancestors have to go through that. And now we got to fight to get our culture back. You know what I mean? But first and foremost, we still got to establish why we need our culture. We need our culture so we can have brotherhood, so that black man can take care of you. And that black woman can nurture and help out. You know what I mean? Help out brothers. A black woman can be an aid like this. And when men are going out and they're doing the work of the Lord, they're going out to camp, they're going out to these other places, they put in this work. A woman's supposed to be, make sure that the men is fed when they come home. That's how you put in your work, sis. I don't know if you even knew that. You put in your work by helping that man. You cooking a good meal for that man so he come home. You helping the priest. You buying stuff for him. You fixing his clothes. You sewing this up. You know, you doing all this. You pack. You know, this. That's how you help out, sis. You don't need to be on the front lines. What you need to do is when the men are done battling, you need to be at home making sure that everybody cool, everybody's straight. You know, y'all done went out, y'all done did this work to try to save our people. There you go. You got a fresh meal now. Now you ain't got to worry about nothing. The shower is ran for you. That's how you help out, you know, sis, out there, you know, Black women, Hispanic women, and Native American women. That's how you can show your sisterhood, you know, to this brotherhood. You know what I mean? And no man shall buy you, you know, just basically going, you know, ending off this verse. Ain't nobody gonna save you. Ain't nobody finna save you. You can run to Muslim and you can be all karate and you can do all this stuff. Ain't nobody finna save you. Ain't nobody finna save you from what our oppressor, you know, is doing to us. Why? Because this is a curse that the Most High put on to us because we decided not to follow him. We decided that we would rather be Egyptian. We decided that we would rather be, you know, this and that. And even in today's time, we would rather be Christian. We would rather be Muslim. We would rather be Buddhist. We would rather be all this other stuff. We wouldn't, you know, we wouldn't want to come back to the Most High. We don't want to come back and learn our culture. We'd rather be Arab. Are you serious? Habibi don't give a damn about you. You know what I mean? You thinking that you Christian, them white people don't give a damn about you, man. You thinking that you even Buddhist? Them Chinese people don't give a damn about you, man. You know what I mean? So just like what I just said here, I'm gonna go ahead and even show you right here because this is going into my next, you know, my next section here. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all who Christ died for at the end of the day. Because, yeah, I just taught y'all about this brotherhood. I just showed y'all in the scriptures what a brotherhood was and how to really, you know, experience brotherhood and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and show you in the Bible what Christ said, you know, about who he died for, okay? Just so that we know who should we be showing this brotherhood to. Because I showed you it should be for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what Christ said about who this should be for. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. Good verse there. Good verse there. Okay. So let me go ahead and start it off like this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son. You know, let me go ahead and stop right there. So this verse is referencing, actually. Let me go ahead and see something real quick. Okay. So this verse is referencing Mary, okay? If you know anything about, you know, Mary and Joseph, a lot of Christians think that Mary and Joseph had a kid through Immaculate Conception. That does not exist. It tells you in the Bible, and I'm paraphrasing, that Jesus, Hamashiach Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, was born like the Son of Man. So how are you born like the Son of Man? I'm just going to break it down for you real quick for time's sake. Born like the Son of Man essentially means that you pretty much got to be born like every other nigga speaking savage, and everybody is born here. Your parents, your dad put that fire to your mama's tail, and you came out after a few months. All right, that's how Hamashiach Yahweh was born. You know what I mean? He wasn't just born out of nowhere. This doesn't exist. Just like how a lot of people say evolution exists. How the fuck can evolution exist? Have you seen a monkey turn into a human yet? These are the people that's over us in today's society. They say that evolution exists. I ain't seen a monkey turn into a nigga yet in my life. Y'all got that though, because our oppressor is like that unto an animal. So of course they'll say that a monkey could turn into a human because they act like that. Of course. But let me get back to this. Verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh, and he shall save his people for their sins. So now you got to think, who are his people? Well, guess what? I'll tell you right now. His people are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And just tune in with me tonight. You know, I'm going to go ahead and show you in the scriptures, you know what I mean, who his people were. We ain't done yet. We ain't done yet. I just showed you a lot about how brotherhood is a weapon. I'm going to show you who we should be giving brotherhood to. Let me go ahead and keep going, though, if I could. You know what I mean? Let me get the book of Matthew. Give me one. Oh, it's like, give me 1 second. Slovakia. All right. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 5. These 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, but into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. So don't go into the way of the Gentiles. Don't go into these other nations, these other people who don't have nothing to do with us, who don't care about us, who don't give a flying iota about us. You know what I mean? You can't be like that. You can't go into what they do. Don't go into them. You know what I mean? All right, there we go. And into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not. Verse 6. But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So basically what that's saying is go to, Yahushua's chosen. Go to us. Don't go to them. What they need help for, they got it. Rome, they had it. Sodom and Gomorrah, they had it. They was just doing all types of wickedness up in there. Greece, they had it. You know what I mean? And even if you look at this kingdom, what the hell does this kingdom need saving for? They did everything bad to us. The first bomb was actually dropped in a black neighborhood. So what the hell does this kingdom need saving for? If anything, this kingdom needs to go with the rest of everything. What does this kingdom need saving for? That's what you need to ask yourself too. You know what I mean? So let me get back to this. Verse 7. I'm going to just go ahead and end it off with verse 7. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So basically, that's getting into what we do every Saturday when you call us Power Rangers and we standing on the corner and we tell you to stop smoking cigarettes and you're a disgusting bastard and you just ignore us. That's what we do. That's what we do. All right. That's our job. If you don't like that, well, guess what? You can continue being that. But guess what? We are saying this to the brothers who want to show brotherhood. We want to say this to the sisters that want to actually show sisterhood. You know what I mean? We don't care about your nasty ass, man. If you want to continue being a nasty bastard, go ahead. Our oppressor got a whole U.S. military you can join. They need your help. You know what I mean? But here in the ISUPK, we part of the Lord's military. And the first people we're going to build up before we build up everybody else is our own. It's our own people. That's what we go build up. We ain't going to build up nobody else. Who you think we going to build up? We going to build up the Hawaiians. They got Moana 1 and 2. They got their coaches. They cool. We gonna build up the Asian man. They got all that yin yang and shit like that and karate and all that. We don't need none of that. That's not our culture. That ain't us. That's them, but that's not us. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and get next verse here. I'm gonna go ahead and get Salakia, Matthew chapter 15. Let's go ahead and get that. Salakia 15, and there we go. Salaki, bear with me, Israel. Okay, so basically, this is just reiterating what the Most High was saying earlier. You know what I mean? He ain't just here, even when he was born, he was sent unto, a certain people. Well, you got to ask yourself, if he was, Salaki, hold on, having a little bit difficulties. Okay, this is just basically Yahweh reiterating what the Most High said to him, said in the last scripture, you know what I mean, about how he was going to come and be for his people. And this is him basically just following that order. And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 15 and verse 24. But he answered and said, but he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So this is him saying that he only coming for us, man. He only here for us. He ain't here for nobody else. What you think? You think Yahweh is gonna come for the white man? You think he gonna come for the Arab man that's in the corner store selling you Lucy's? You know what I mean? Telling you, hey, buddy, you want to be all Nation of Islam and you don't want to eat pork. Yet you going up in there and buying Rellos from this wicked bastards. You know what I mean? And he can't. You trying to tell him assalamu alaikum or whatever the nonsense they be saying, and he just look at you like, look at this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Leave that to them. That's theirs. Guess what? We got our own stuff. You know what I mean? We don't need to be sitting here and thinking that, we can join to these other nations when we really need to join to ourselves. That goes back to what I was saying. You know what I mean? Brotherhood is a weapon. You know what I mean? Without this brotherhood, then we looking at other people like they are brothers when they not. They don't give a damn about us. Yeah, of course we got to be in his kingdom with them, but they not our brothers to the point that we got to sit there and just bow down to them and just be like, all right, Habibi my brother, Yin Yang my brother, Jeremy Apple Cider is my brother. You know what I mean? That's not our people. You know what I mean? Our people are the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans according to the Bible. Thus saith the Most High. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and get this next verse just to go ahead and get John right here. Go to the book of John. Let me see. Okay. This is the book of John, chapter 4 and verse 22. Ye worship ye not what? Oh, so like it. Ye worship ye know not what. So you worshiping shit that you don't know about. You worshiping things that you don't even, really have no knowledge of. You in the Nation of Islam, you in Christianity, you doing all this stuff, you trying to be a vegan and living in that lifestyle, what I mean? You worship what ye know not. But let me go ahead and continue with the scripture. We know what we worship. Okay? We know what we worship. We worship the Most High. You know what I mean? We worship the Most High. Let me go ahead and get back to the scripture. For salvation is of the Jews. So you got to ask yourself, who are the Jews? The 12 tribes of the house of Israel, man. The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? And you might ask yourself, you know what I mean? Well, how do we know that we are the Jews? You know what I mean? How do we know that we are the Jews? How do I know that I'm a Jew so I can show brotherhood to a fellow Jew? Okay, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and get you in the Bible when it talks about our leaders and where we are now. You know what I mean? And how we don't have anything. Okay? Because the root word of Jew is Judah. We all Jews, all right? Just to give you a little heads up too. We all Jews, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black. Well, let me go ahead and start. Let me not hop too far here, because let me break this down. Judah mourneth. So basically what that's saying is we are in mourning every day. every damn day. We are in mourning. We are on drugs. We're alcoholics. We don't have a household that's in order. Our kids are in drugs. Our women are having abortions. You know what I mean? Our men aren't men. You know what I mean? They're very emotional. They don't know right from left and left from right. You know what I mean? And negates thereof language. So you got to ask yourself, what does a gate do? A gate is something that you put up for protection. You don't just put up a gate for just some people do, but you really do it for protection. That's what the purpose of a gate was, to protect your grass from all types of critters that can try to get them, you know what I mean? Or protect your grass from people just walking in that. You know what I mean? That's what a gate is for. You know what I mean? They are black unto the ground. So you got to ask yourself, what does that mean? That's basically saying right then and there, the Jews are black unto the ground. We are the only people that you see up in this empire that ain't got no leadership. What's the black people's leader? What's the Asians' leader? They got all types of, yin yang wing and wee wong woon. You know what I mean? But when it comes to black people, what are our leaders? We don't have no leaders. Are you gonna say Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton? They like 2 foot. You know what I mean? They 2 feet away from. That's our leaders. Who are our leaders? Barack Obama? That's an African. He don't give a care about black men. You know what I mean? He Hawaiian. That ain't our leader. You know what I mean? So you got to ask yourself, who is really our leader? And the cry of Jerusalem is going up. Basically, we all of our tears, our iniquities, all of our, shortcomings, they went up. We always, when it comes to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the most spiritual people. And what do I mean by this? We always try to rely on a religion or some type of, how can I say this? Let me just go with that. We always try to rely on some religion or some type of spiritual, whatever the case may be, to try to get us through. What do I mean by that? How do I know about that? I mean, you look at the Native Americans back when they was, a long time ago. What do they believe in? The sun god, the water god, the buffalo god, and this god. And guess what? None of them guys protected their ass when all that shit got destroyed. You know what I mean? When it comes to the Hispanics, what do they believe in? Catholicism. Big in Catholicism. White Mary, white Jesus. You know what I mean? The candles. You know what I mean? When it comes to black people, what do we believe in? Christianity, Muslim, just like the Hispanics and the Native Americans. We believe that we got to associate ourselves with all these other races in order for us to be a more stronger people. When at the end of the day, that's really not how it's supposed to be. It's really not supposed to be that. You know what I mean? So let me go ahead and keep going. Yep, that's it on that. All right, so my next verse. All right, so I got Acts. We're going to go ahead and go to the book of Acts. Okay, so this is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 30, and I'm going to go ahead and go to 31. The God of our fathers raised up Yahushua, whom ye slew and hanged up on a tree. So our God raised up our king, and our oppressor slaughtered him and hung him up on a goddamn wooden fucking cross. Same wood from a tree. That's what this is saying. All right. Verse 31. Him have Yahweh exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, like I was just getting back to before. That's our savior, our king. You know what I mean? All right, no sweat. Let's go ahead and get back to this. For to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of our sins. So he was our king to give forgiveness to us as Israel. You know what I mean? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? All right. I'm going to go ahead and get back to this. And forgiveness of sins. So just like how you see every day we in the world, we be doing wicked stuff. You smoking, you sinning, you doing all this stuff. You being an alcoholic. You putting your hands on your wife. You just doing everything that the Most High has not told you to do. You know, you breaking all the commandments. You eating pork, you know what I mean? You trying to have relations with another man's wife because that's what they say in the music. You looking at your brother like that's your enemy, like what I said beforehand, and the Most High hates that. If you're just tuning in tonight, the Most High hates when you hate your brother, okay? If you look at that next Hispanic and that next black man and that next Native American, and you look at him like he's an enemy, the Most High is not going to be with you. And I don't think that you will want that if you just tuning in. I don't think that you will want that black man, Hispanic man, or Native American man. Trust me. If the Most High ain't on your side, you don't want to be an enemy of him. Because when the Most High gets angry, he kills children. He kills families. He will burn down your whole house while you sleep tonight. You might just be walking and you drop dead. Okay? So let's go ahead and let's keep going. All right. And just so you know, like I said, let me go ahead and get this next verse. When it comes to our king and him being, you know, let me go ahead and get this nice verse. Like the son of man. Salaki, bear with me, Israel. All right, let me go ahead and get this right here. Go ahead and continue with this. All right, let's go ahead and get Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. Because like I said, I'm going to continue to tell you who he came back for at the end of the day. He didn't come back for just people who, you know, don't give a damn about him. Our oppressor don't give a damn about Yahushua. How do I know? They didn't turn him from being who he really is described as in the Bible to being somebody that looks like them. They done made them into their God, okay? This is the book of Romans chapter 9 and verse 4. And I'm going to go ahead and go to 5. Who are Israelites to pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. Whose are the fathers? This is verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom as concerning the flesh Christ came, who is over all. You know what I mean? So basically what this is saying is we are the adoption, basically. You know what I mean? The law, statutes, and commandments, they pertain to us, which is why you might think that I could do the same thing as the oppressor. I could do the same thing as white boy Tommy who smoked weed, and I could be in it. And then guess what? You try to smoke weed and then you get laced with fentanyl. He been smoking fentanyl his whole life. This is you. He's used to it. You can't do what he do. You try to get out there, you try to go to the dispensary, and you drive it back home, and you get pulled over and you go to jail for 30 years and you become a felon. Now you can't get no job. Why? Because you can't sin against the Most High. The Most High hates when you do the things that he doesn't want you to do. You know what I mean? And especially when it comes to this, when it's saying the law, statutes, and commandments, you know, pertaining to us, when we go against that, that's when we got to deal with the punishments of it. And let me tell you what the Most High said about sin as well. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't know that. People think that you could just sin all the damn time and ain't nothing gonna happen to you. Well, guess what? The reason why ain't nothing happening to you because the Most High really love your ass and he's giving you grace, okay? Okay. All right. And just to let you know, our king, our prince wasn't no coward. Let me tell you. Why? Because he's finna say this, all right? Okay. This is the book of Romans chapter 6 and 23. Slacky. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Mashiach Yahushai, our Lord. So basically, he's telling you, when you don't adhere to this, when you don't love your brother as yourself, when you think that you can go off and do whatever, and you don't know who your brother is, and you don't give a damn about your brother, guess what? The wages of sin is death. I explained earlier in an earlier scripture that the Lord is not with you if you're looking at that similar brother and you looking at them like, you know what, this ain't my brother. This ain't, I don't care about him. You know what I mean? That right there is something that we need to come back to. We need to come back to our people. You know what I mean? And for time's sakes, I'm gonna just go ahead and Yahushua, Lord. All right, no sweat. So let me see here. Yeah, for time's sakes, let me go ahead and get this verse. The wages of sin is death. You know what I mean? And if you're thinking that, you can still get away with it, the Lord is telling you right here in the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 23, that if you keep on sinning, you gonna die pretty much. In the words of, Officer of 1000 of Rome, you gonna die. It's over with. It ain't gonna be, sunshine and glory. And especially when the Most High come back. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and show you. You know what I mean? A lot of you Christians out there, y'all think that, I could still sin, and when he come back, I might have a way. He ain't gonna do that to me. Well, guess what? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen when he comes back. Because not only is he gonna come back and he's going to destroy our oppressor, but he's also going to destroy the ones that are with and joined with our oppressor. Okay. Let me get the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18. This is what the Lord says. So why you think that you sinning and you thinking that you just going to wait until when he came? Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? Okay. So basically, woe to those who thinking that a rapture is going to happen. Oh, the rapture is going to happen. He's going to come back and it's going to be sunshines and rainbows and it's going to be little kids. That's what you see in the Christian church is literally just disgusting wickedness. Okay. It's disgusting wickedness. All right. Woe to you. Woe unto you. Salaki, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. Okay. He's saying, whoa, man. You Christians out there who think that you want the Most High to come back. All right, we talking about the Christians that's in the church right now. Okay, ain't no distinction with it. All right, because we believe everything out the Bible. Christians don't believe everything out the Bible, so we not Christians. All right, because Christians don't believe everything out the Bible. Christians think that you can just sin and you can be a disgusting, wicked bastard and ain't nothing gonna happen to you. That's not how this happens. That's not how we go about things, okay? What enters it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. And just to, top that, you know what I mean? When the Lord comes back, it's gonna be darkness. It's gonna be bloodshed. It's gonna be blood on everywhere. You know what I mean? And if you think that you're gonna be able to just escape that, the Most High has another thing for you. I promise you. You know what I mean? The Most High is not going to just come back and you just think that it's going to be a lovely day. We going to go. How do Christians believe? They just think that they just going to float up in the air and then they just going to be with the Most High. They've been a wicked bastard. They've been raised like a lot of. Let me tell you this. The KKK is Christians. They Christians. They Catholics. They go to church. They had a white supremacist group marched down in Ohio maybe about a month or two ago with swastika flags. All their faces were covered because they cowards, obviously. Because the same people that was marching down there was probably your boss. I ain't gonna lie. He probably went down there. That's the reason why you ain't seen that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But guess what? They marched down there. The day of the Lord is going to be darkness. All right. He's killing everybody. And for you to think that you could be like that, I mean, that's silly. That's silly. For you to think that you can join to that when our oppressor is literally marching and literally doing that, you know, to basically, it's like a FU to us, basically. You know, I can't think of the words right now, but it's like a FU to us. You know what I mean? You thinking that you could be just like this oppressor and do everything that, you know, that he does. You wondering why you die. You wondering why you get unalive. You wonder why your kids is on drugs. Your kids is on drugs. You on drugs. Your kids is on drugs now because you told them that you want them to smoke weed with you. You know what I mean? Now your kids is on drugs. Congratulations. Yet the oppressor is literally marching down and saying that he still wants to kill you because that's how much they hate us. Everything is our fault. You go to work with these people and everything is your fault. Shit ain't even your fault, yet it's your fault. And you can't say nothing about it or you might get in trouble for it. That's what I'm telling you. The white man, the oppressor, is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Say that every morning before you go to work. And I promise you, you will have a better day. Just say that in your mind. Just wake up. As soon as you wash your face off, you do your hair, you know what I mean? You put on your clothes and you take that final look like, okay, I'm good. Just be like, the white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. I can promise you anything that happened at work won't be shit at this point. It ain't going to be nothing. You know what I mean? And most importantly, you know, just covering on this brotherhood topic, you know what I mean? That's basically where I really want us to get with, you know, who were the people that we supposed to be showing brotherhood to, you know what I mean? And how we supposed to show brotherhood amongst ourselves, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So if you are a Black, Hispanic, and Native American, according to the Bible, it is your obligation to get up in this truth. You have to get up in this truth. You know what I mean? And, you know, I see that we pressing for time here. So, with that being said, I am Officer of 50, Bonilla. You know, I will be holding down Monday's classes, you know. And we are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, you know, out of Harlem, New York. You know what I mean? And with that time, Israel, that is my time. And shalom.
Oh yeah, ooh Lord. And if you don't give it, you won't get it. That's right. I give her all my love. Hey, run that shit up, Chase.
I came from the streets to the shy, where wicked and evil collide. If it was illegal, we tried ambition to get us a piece of the pie. Had so many demons inside, was dimming the gleam of my eye, killing my innocence, all of my vision of reading the sign and seeing demise. We've been deprived of basic necessities, that and cocaine, a satanic recipe, refusing to claim it as destiny, sins of the fatherly children in jeopardy. The family addiction affected me, affliction of prison, the death of me. Not even the thought of my legacy, living in hell, how you hating your pedigree. Been definitely holding the grudge, letting it go cause no hoe is in us. If we don't connect then you know what it was. One West and no cowards is rolling with us. Steps was all in the mud, feeling the pain like salt in the cut. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love, yeah. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love. The blessing is all of these lessons, no question we taught them in blood. It's all for the love. I get an honor to command and Jenna Johanna for being the armor, protecting the message delivered to Abba, straight from the Father. He gave it to you, ain't making excuse. Though Satan is loose, kept lacing his boots, training and raising the troops, perfecting the method of 7-1 West in the hairs was able to prove. Ain't stressing them niggas that left can step in the stand and stating the truth. My people could never imagine the hardest of winners you lasted. Extending the realest compassion for niggas that should have been fitted for caskets. How could you ever ignore the nigga who slept on the floor and was ready for war when whenever it called. Better this weapon is drawn. Election is sure, edge in this war. Front of projects of the Bronx. Now representing the law. The water for blessing us all.